good, Sixers fans? I'm your humble host, DeShields II, and y'all are tuned into another dose of Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. So, the Philadelphia 76ers, right? There's a rumor floating around. Remember, I mentioned that since Daryl Morey got here, people have already been screaming, trade Simmons for this, trade Embiid for that, blah, 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 blah. So, the rumors are starting to get a little too big for comfort. And so far, the biggest rumor that's flying right now as it pertains to the Sixers trading anyone or trading for someone rather, is James Harden. People are saying, reporters are saying, that there is a strong possibility, a strong chance that the Sixers will go supremely hard at getting James Harden on their roster. So, who would they trade for him? The rumor is Ben Simmons. If I'm being honest with you guys, I would not. This is nothing against James Harden. I'm not sliding anyone. Let's make it very clear. James Harden is a reigning MVP. For about 3 or 4 straight seasons, James Harden has averaged over 30 points. James Harden has one of the most deceptive handles in the league. James Harden is one of the smoothest, one of the most craftiest ball players in the NBA. He will go down as a Hall of Famer, with or without a ring. But I'm not a fan of his play style when it comes to the Sixers. I'm not a fan of his play style, period, really. I got to be honest with you. He plays like AI when it comes to just the ISO ball thing, but it's just that he's so inefficient. Harden is so inefficient. I remember one game, I can't remember the exact game it was, but this man shot 40 shots. I'll put it to you this way. He put up 40 points on basically 40 shots. What? In what world is that okay? I'm sorry. I don't care how good you are, how much pedigree you've built in the NBA, how much respect you think you deserve, how many MVPs you got. If you going 10 for 40, or 9 for 41, like whatever, how many shots you took, and you're not shooting near or above 50%, why are you taking that many shots, my brother? The Rockets were built upon threes and layups, right? But I was watching Gilbert Arenas' No Chill podcast, and he said something very important. He said a lot of these teams are trying to model their success after the Warriors. More threes, layups, threes and layups, no mid-range, threes and layups, right? They're trying to build their team, based off that schematic. When in reality, that's incomparable. That's irreplicable. You can't replicate something that unique. They drafted all those guys in Golden State, and they groomed those guys for that system. That system is something you cannot just replicate, right? So, the Rockets have been trying to replicate that system for quite some time. And they've been getting their behinds handed to them for quite some time from Golden State and other teams as well. Once they get past that, once they get into that second and third round. And I got to be honest, man. The Rockets are such an inconsistent team when it comes to the playoffs. Matter of fact, James Harden is an inconsistent player. Let's stay focused on him because this isn't about the Rockets. This is about James Harden. James Harden, like I said, is one of the most dynamic playmakers, one of the most dynamic players in the NBA. He's a top 5 player in the NBA. Seriously, I will never take James Harden's success or accolades away from him. But let's be real. Let's tell his true story. In the playoffs, who is he? Who is he? What are you getting? What are you getting in the playoffs with James Harden, in my opinion? What are you getting? Someone who couldn't get the job done? Yes, I know CP3 went down. That was the year they were supposed to win it all, because that was the year LeBron was at his weakest. He had the weakest Cavs roster. And he still dragged them guys to the finals somehow. Went to Game 7 with Boston. But nonetheless, James Harden had the opportunity to take out the Warriors in dramatic fashion. They was up 3-1. And then James Harden, CP3, he got hurt in Game 4, I believe. And the moment CP3 went down with that hamstring injury, I'll be honest with you guys, the moment I saw CP3 go down. I immediately said, oh, James Harden not closing the series out. I said that to myself. I swear. I would not make it up. I'm not just saying this for the sake of this video. I'm not just saying that just for shock value. I said this to myself. I was watching those games. I said, James Harden will not close this series out. He doesn't have it in him. He doesn't have it in him. He can't win. He won't win one game. It's over. CP3 was the pulse. CP3 was keeping everything. CP3 was the pace. I'll put you that way. CP3 was the pace for that team. He kept Harden in line to a certain extent when it came to the shot 10, just taking better shot 10, playing more fluid, better basketball, less iso ball, right? And honestly, the moment CP3 went down, the moment that brain went out of the locker room, I knew for a fact this series is over for James Harden and the Rockets. I knew it. And I'm pretty sure Golden State knew it as well. They know who he is. And I know who he is. We know who he is, people. I know a lot of people love James Harden. I ain't got no hate. I don't hate James Harden. No ill will towards James Harden. Get your coins, my brother. Keep putting up them dope numbers. You so fun to watch and dope to watch. You a legend personified. But my thing is, bro, when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't think you're the right guy just because of your mentality when it matters most. And that is big to me. I don't care about your numbers because all that stuff is out the window when the playoffs start. James Harden is two different players. Regular season and playoffs, two different guys. We saw how they performed against the LA Lakers. Granted, we all knew what the Lakers was going to do, but I significantly thought that series would be way more competitive. The Rockets got their first win, and then after that, it was just a gentleman's sweep. So, James Harden, who are you? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be a champion, or do you want to be known as the best scorer of all time? Either way, it's your journey. It's your life. It's your path. But at the end of the day, my friend, when it's all said and done, you want to be one of those two teams standing. And at the end of the day, you want to be the last team standing. And I don't think James Harden cares about that kind of stuff. And I feel like if we leverage our future, if we leverage our present on James Harden, I just don't think that's the right move. Now, the Houston Rockets have vehemently said they're not moving on from James Harden. But let's be honest, they're in a situation where their future is at risk. Do they want to run it back with Harden and Westbrook again? Or do they want to trade one of those guys or trade those guys for hella pieces and then just hit the reset button? Because in my opinion, I think they should hit the reset button. But I don't think the Sixers should go after James Harden. So two different points. Sixers should not go after James Harden. I don't want him in Philly. But at the same time, the Rockets, in my opinion, should hit the reset button. You've gone this long with Harden as your main guy playing his style of basketball. You played multiple years under the D'Antoni system. And honestly, I don't see a destination. I don't see an end game for this team. I don't see a championship for the Rockets. I just don't. And honestly, if the Sixers trade and leverage Ben Simmons for James Harden, I got to be honest, I'm going to be really upset. Because I believe Ben Simmons' upside is insane. Yes, he'll never be a supremely amazing shooter. He'll never be that, right? But if he can just get you a consistent, reliable 15 to 20-footer jump shot, just reliable, consistent, make him respect you. And, he can hit the three every now and again. I'll take that because his play style is more predicated on the fast break. He's much better in the fast break and, driving and kicking it out. He's much better on the block and the low post. He's way better in that area. Cross key. Like he's way better in that area. So I'll be highly upset if the Sixers trade Ben Simmons for James Harden. Ben Simmons is 24, I think. 24. And you want to trade him for a 31-year-old who, honestly, we know who he is and what he's done and what he hasn't been able to do? When all things fail, you know what James Harden resort to? Between the legs, step back, boom. Remember that time they missed like over 23-point shots in a row against the Warriors? They blew a 3-1 lead. We're not forgetting this, man. We know who you are, James Harden, and you're not built for Philly. No pun intended. You're not built for Philly, bro. You may got the beard to blend in. You may got the Sunni, but listen, my brother, this is not. I don't think you're built for Philadelphia. This city has expectations. This city has demands. And honestly, your mentality when it matters most doesn't fill the bill. So, you guys, y'all always tuned in to Chalk It Up where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, DeShields II. One love, y'all. Let's go, Sixers.